Master. We love you and honor you. And God, we pray that you just lead us and guide us in the way that we should go and make sound decisions, not only for the town, but for the peoples of the town, as well as for those that surrounded us. And God, we just thank you for being in this capacity that we may serve you. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing to discuss the proposed budgets for year 2022-2023 that begins July 1, if I'm correct. Yes,
That's
sir.
correct.
Administrator Mishu, would you please take it away?
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. In the enterprise funds, water, sewer, and sanitation funds are presented as balanced. We're requesting a 10-cent adjustment to water rates to cover increased cost. In the sewer department, we're requesting a 44-cent increase as a pass-down expense due to increase in rates from Pickens County for sewer treatment. We are requesting a 10-cent increase for the town to cover increase in cost to provide the service. We're not requesting any increase in sanitation rates at this time. We will also be installing new meters. We have already installed the new meters for all our customers, so the water reading accuracy should be accurate going forward into the next budget year. The sewer budget also includes some capital improvements at the south plant where the town's equipment is stored. Also, Council Member Bowers requested some information in relation to the sanitation department with the commercial sanitation truck. You requested to know what encumbered funds we have for ARPA, and you wanted to take a look at our reserve funds. So I've got both of those here for you. The first sheet is what is currently encumbered. I believe I'm correct in having all of that. Y'all already voted on those items. And then the second page is the reserves, and we can look at that.
Thank you.
We're discussing how to fund a commercial sanitation truck. We talked about looking at some ARPA funds and looking at some of our reserves. Town clerk's not here tonight, so we'll try to be as efficient as possible. We do have Josh here sitting in as a town clerk, but he's also the finance director, so he should be able to help us answer any questions we have concerning the accounts. This second page actually came from Josh after I made a few adjustments to it to where I understood it. Let's look at the first page, which is the encumbered. We've got the fire truck, which that's going to be paid for next week. The bonus to employees has already been done. The rec center roof, have we been billed for that yet? Haven't been billed for that yet, but it's there.
It's completed though, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's completed. The Spring Forest walking trail and the PD in-car updates. Steve has been procuring those things and billing, sending the bills to finance as they come in. So that's all the encumbered, and the total amount there is $732. The total ARPA money is 2.4.
Of which we have half, is that right? That we got half.
That's
right?
correct. We've got half. We'll get the other half, I think, in November of this year, so it's right around the corner. Looking at the second page, that's the, these are the holding accounts that we have. And I'm going to direct your attention to the general fund first. That's the easiest one. The total on that general fund is $678,817. Our auditors recommend about 6 months worth of expenses to be in reserve, so we're not quite there yet. We're probably short maybe 300,000. Total budget for general funds 2.4 million, so half of that. So I wouldn't recommend dipping into that a whole lot.
especially when you look at the business license holding number there, the 392, that's for the cold months. So we'll start cutting into that around October. So that money, it's kind of spoken for, because we're going to spend that when we're not getting property taxes in. So there's not a whole lot in general fund that I would really touch. Looking at the other side, operations and maintenance funds, I think the mayor asked about the sanitation impact. That number is line number 4. Not a whole lot there. The line number 5 and line number 6 is the current balances of the sanitation fund right now. You know-
Can we turn down the mic? Sounds like we're on fire.
I can back up. Would that be better?
I don't think it's you.
No, it's crackling. Yeah. You know which button to play with? There's like 20 of them back there. Never happened before. Hey, all I pressed was the on button. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, where was I at? Impact fees. The lines 5 and 6, which is sanitation residential, sanitation commercial, that's what's in that account right now. If you know, sanitation ebbs and flows, you know, breakdowns of the vehicles, we may spend more in sanitation one month than we did the prior month. So that number kind of ebbs and flows. Let's see. I think your two biggies are probably your sewer income account, which is at 430, and the trunk line. And then in the miscellaneous accounts, the sewer fee bond cash. I forgot what that was, Josh. You want to shed some light on that? Line number 1 under the miscellaneous account. Okay, that line number 1 there, sewer fee bond cash account, is where we pay out the bonds for the sewer. And then sewer repair cash, what is that? Where's that come from?
There's one ordinance that I take out how much we bill a month to put in sewer repair, and then there's another ordinance where Duke Power franchise fees gets 10% put
Okay,
into it.
okay.
That's where Adam uses it to repair sewer lines.
Big breaks, okay. Did y'all hear that?
So that's an emergency.
Yeah, that's kind of an emergency line item for the sewer department. If we have a major break that we haven't budgeted for, that's what we tap into. And that by ordinance, as Josh said, a percentage of the sewer goes in there, and then I think a percentage of the franchise fees goes in there. And that's by ordinance by council. So that's what that number is. And then the sewer trunk line cash, isn't that leftover money in one of our small accounts? That's just some leftover money.
So his 240,000 he was gonna use to make his, I think it was 235,000 to make his improvements at the south plant. Where is that stashed in here?
That would come out of the sewer income account. That has already been taken out. I took that out of that line item because it's in the budget, so it's spoken for.
So it's not reflected in that 430,000?
No,
Okay.
no. And again, in your enterprise funds, you want to keep a certain percentage, about 6 months worth of reserves in there, and you're probably just a little bit over that when you look at all the numbers, all the dollars.
So where are the other impact fees? Because I only see the sanitation impact. Are they included in another line,
Did I get you to take those out? Okay. I took those out because you were requesting the sanitation impact fees. They were all lumped in there, and he pulled out the sanitation, but the other impact fees aren't listed.
Do we have a ballpark on what that amount is?
You got a ballpark?
Right around 100,000 for O&M.
That's what I was thinking. About
And that's
100,000.
water, right?
Yeah, water and sewer. Yeah.
So about 50 each, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
So line item 8, the sewer income, what is that, what are those monies typically spent on?
That's spent on projects,
I'm sorry?
projects.
Payroll, gas.
Payroll,
That's
gas,
That's the income for the sewer account,
Yeah,
for the fund. So when you look at 30, 71, 30, all those expense accounts,
Mhm.
that's where those expenses come out of. And the same with water income.
So really, the only thing that you could touch is line item 4. The
line item
sanitation
4 is
impact.
sanitation impact, yeah. You could do that. If you wanted to, I think you could safely take out probably 100,000 out of line item 8. I think we can probably comfortably pull 150 out of here if you want to use the other 150 from ARPA.
Don't we have to have 350?
I think it was 300. You remember, was the sanitation truck 300 or 350? 350. 350? Okay. Probably 350 and climbing.
Yeah.
So, any other comments? I would recommend just splitting it with those reserves and ARPA.
Is there a way that we can start getting these once we flip to our new year on our spreadsheet?
The impact fees? Yeah, I'm gonna have that on the new finance report.
Okay.
I think you remember if I told you I took it off about 4 or 5 years ago because we weren't getting any and it was just taking
Right.
up space. But yeah, we can get that, we're gonna get that back on there. We're gonna have some impact fees going forward, so it's gonna be a number that you need to be aware of.
The bond cash, I know that we have a USDA bond on our water. And I think there's something else on our water that's like specific.
Improvement fee. It's the sewer bond, USDA bond, sewer bond. There's 2 bonds that come out of that 32 fund, that there's 2 income accounts that the money from that goes directly when we distribute the water bills, it goes directly into that account. And then I take it out every month and put it in the 32 fund. But the sewer bond's $2.80, the USDA's $5, and then the improvement fees, the $4
Do you,
fees on, that's on the water bills.
I know this is an unfair question, but do you happen to know how long they're gonna remain on there?
For perpetuity.
The
I can't
bond?
remember The bonds.
The bond's 40 years.
But I think they voted for those bonds to keep them on there until.
They were paid.
Probably till they're paid.
Probably till
Yeah.
they're paid.
And that bond account, the bond, people that manage the bond have to, we have to maintain a certain balance in there. I don't know what it is, but every year we have to send them our audited stuff, and they check to make sure we're maintaining a balance in that account.
So really, the only thing that's on the water bill that could come off is the improvement fee, because didn't we put that on there for the, new,
Water bills, I mean, those water meters.
Meters.
To cover it, and there's another bond that I did that I pay out of it every month. improvement income.
Would it be possible to have that date next month? I'm sorry to keep on asking.
To have what?
That date,
Improvement fee when it comes off.
So you want that number?
just when it's coming off,
Oh, just when it's coming on, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to go back and find out when y'all voted on it and exactly what the ordinance said.
I know we did it before we started putting them in, so
Mm.
hoping that we would have money before it was due. I don't remember,
So that's the $4 fee you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
the improvement fee. Because I think that's why everybody thinks our bill is so high, is because we have those 3 additional things on there that we did for a specific purpose, but we don't always know when they're coming off.
All right, so I guess the question is, what do you want to do?
I'm okay with 150 out of reserves and 200 out of ARPA. There's really no other options.
Okay.
How much do we have left in ARPA?
2.4 minus 732,000.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That will need to be done during the regular meeting, I
Right.
guess, under enterprise funds. Whichever council member is over enterprise funds, make a motion that we do that. Because I don't think, that's only going to require one reading. All right, continuing on with the discussion. In general fund, it's balanced. We're requesting a 3 mil increase this budget year. We're not requesting an increase in business license. We will be using 50,000 from reserves to balance. And like I've told you in the past, don't worry about that. Sometimes you just gotta plug a number so it all equals. The state law requires it to balance. So we have plugged it with that much for the last 8 or 9 years, and we've never really tapped into it. And that's really because we tap into the cold months every year. So that's probably why we don't really, you don't see it in the accounting as us going into that account. But, let's see. In the police department, we're moving forward with the lease agreement for 2 more police cruisers. The fire department didn't experience any significant changes from last year's budget. Overall, there is a 3% COLA that survived the budget. The town's percent for retirement, state retirement, went up 1%. So that's something we had to account for. Workman's comp and property liability also went up, so we had to budget for that. Christmas bonuses are gonna remain at $300 across the board for everyone. Overall, the outlook, all of these revenue projections are based on historical data over the last 15 years. Coming out of COVID-19 and the rampant inflation, it's difficult to tell what the future holds, to be honest with you. Gas prices are supposed to be $5 by July 4th. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna see that impact the budget. We've got a sanitation truck that goes down every street in the town of Central once a week. So you can imagine what that gas bill is. Police department's the same way. So gas, the price of gas does affect the budget. So we're just gonna have to watch it. And they're able to move funds within departments, within the sewer. They can move funds around to cover things that they come in the shortfall. Same with the rest of the funds. So that's probably what we'll be doing until we get a handle on what's gonna happen with gas and inflation. So, any questions from council? All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council?
Thank you, Mr. Michu. Thank you. As part of a public hearing, we're on Section 2 of the agenda, we invite public comments over the budget process. If anybody would like to speak, please step forward now and make your voice heard. Going once. There are no objections. We will adjourn the public hearing. Thank you. Stay about 5 minutes.
Susan's mom had surgery.
Oh, that's right.
So she wanted to see her at 2 o'clock, and 6:30 was still Her brother was supposed to be in the hospital to stay with her. Her brother tested positive for COVID. He has surgery, so she had to just take.
Wow, that's no problem.
He took him, I think, to the
Because when they're done, we'll let y'all have time to leave.
That's what he was, he was there several miles.
We'll also let parents know when they come start doing their certificates, you're free to move right up to the edge and take pictures, there's no problem. Then once they're, y'all are first going to get the end of that.
That's the right thing. That's the right thing.
We'll let y'all
3 people.
leave unless you want to stay and enjoy it.
One that hasn't been vaccinated, so I told her, I said, they're not gonna want you.
Who are we talking about? Is she talking about?
Pretty good, how are you doing? Yeah, yeah. Last Thursday, they said that,
I got a receipt.
he still wants me to do the treatments. Maybe October, November, we'll do scans, look and stuff, but he said that, he thought maybe there was, 50% improvement. Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to order on the regular town council meeting for Monday, June 13th. We have previously had an invocation, Reverend Moss. It was such a good prayer. I think it'll hold us over for another meeting. So thank you for that. First order of business is a proclamation for Daniel High School Boys State Championship in soccer. Congratulations, gentlemen. We have a proclamation to read. If you'll humor me for just a second, let's take a look here. Whereas the D.W. Daniel High School Lions boys soccer team has won the South Carolina High School 3A State Boys Soccer Championship. And whereas by winning the title have earned the right to be called state champions. And whereas special commendation is due all players, coaches, staff, and head coach Philip Boyer and Daniel Athletic Director Tommy Plumley. And whereas this has been a hard-fought, unique, and successful soccer season for the Daniel Lions, and whereas the town of Central is proud of the record the Daniel Lions have earned and the fine publicity they have brought to our community by their good work ethic, dedication, and sportsmanship. And whereas the soccer team's accomplishments are consistent with head coach Philip Boyer's dedication to academic excellence, personal growth, and unity. Now therefore, the mayor, members of town council, the town administrator, and the community of the town of Central congratulates Daniel High School, its boys soccer team, its head coach, assistant coaches, staff, parents, its athletic department, and all people associated with the Daniel Lions soccer program for their outstanding accomplishments and earning the title of state champions. Congratulations, folks. Appreciate that. Let's give them a round of applause. We have some certificates here for the team. Tom, how do you want to handle this?
We'll start with, I tell you what we'll do. How about let's go ahead and do the proclamation for the track and field also.
We can do that.
But their coach is, and that way we'll start on that area.
Do we need to vote on
Mr.
that?
Mayor, you need to do a motion and a second on the
course.
proclamation.
I make a motion to accept the proclamation as read.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, thank you. Second proclamation. Proclamation D.W. Daniel High School Lions 2022 South Carolina 3A State 3,200 meter champion. Whereas Ashby Williams with the D.W. Daniel High School Lions track and field has won the South Carolina High School 3A State Championship in the 3,200 meters. And whereas by winning the title has earned the right to be called state champion. And whereas special commendation is due Ashby Williams and head coach Jacob Wishlands. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
Ah, fantastic. And Daniel, Athletic Director Tommy Plumley. And whereas the town of Central is proud of the record Ashby Williams has earned and the fine publicity she has brought to our community by her good work ethic, dedication, and sportsmanship. And whereas the Ashby Williams accomplishments are consistent with Daniel High School's dedication to academic excellence, personal growth, and unity. Now, therefore, the mayor, members of town council, the town administrator, and the community of the town of Central congratulates Daniel High School's Ashby Williams, head coach Jacob Wishlands, staff, parents, its athletic department, and all people associated with the Daniel Lions track and field program for Ashby Williams' outstanding accomplishments and earning the title of state championship. Round of applause. Very good. You want to join me? Hand some of these
I'm
out?
gonna make a motion. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt proclamation D.W. Daniel High School Lions 2022 South Carolina 3A State 3,200 meter champion.
Second.
Motion second on to accept the proclamation. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Very good. All right.
Ashley's not here, but her coach is here.
You hurt your leg, won't you? You hurt your leg, right?
Coach, Jacob. come up. That's Ashby. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Coach.
Ezra White. Jonas Barrett. Okay. Alexander Fiorentino. Okay.
Yeah, we'll say.
Eddie Merton.
No, no, sir.
Liam Desjardins.
No, sir.
Chris Leanne.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Patrick, feel free to move up, take a picture, it's not a problem. And we are gonna have them stand up here for a full picture in a minute.
Eric Thompson Vasquez.
Not here.
Isaac Turner.
Not here.
Dominic Jeffries.
Here.
Jack Perkerson.
Not here.
Hunter Williams. Here he is. Coleman Wright. Neil Cannon.
Not here.
Anthony Patty. Will Peterson. Camden Shellnut. Ethan Cox.
Not here.
Luke Gassick. How'd I do with that one? Did I get that right? Tyler Brown.
Not here.
J.W. Sarkees.
Not here.
Lucas Garcia.
Not here.
Ashton Zhao. How'd I do with that one?
That's right.
Fantastic. Parker Summers.
Not here.
Ethan Marrero. Ricardo Lazardi. Assistant coach Rico Cabrera. Assistant coach Donnie Allen. Head coach Philip Boyer. There we go. Get there. Assistant coach Felipe Tovar.
No, sir.
How about this? Did I say anybody, did I not, no, miss anybody? Let's hear it. Assistant coach.
Everyone got it.
Everybody got it?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Everybody give them a round of applause. Yeah, come on up.
Right quick for picture. Any other council that'd like to be in, so we can get the picture right quick, and then we'll do, hopefully do you right after this. Yeah, feel free to step up here and get a picture.
Great. Great job.
All right, so basically, blue shirt,
Blue shirt over, so we gotta all be inside a little bit.
Yeah.
We gotta all be inside.
there we go, getting there, right there, right there, right there, we're good. There we go.
There you go. Gonna even it out.
Perfect. All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. One more. Fantastic. Parents, did everybody get one? All right, fantastic. Coach, you'll come up, and Mr. Mayor will get one with the coach.
Oh, yep.
Great job, folks. Great job. And you guys, y'all can be sitting there. You don't want to stay around with the friends. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3, and one more.
If that's how you
Hey,
feel, go
hey,
ahead.
Tom.
Oh, yes, coach.
Coach.
Coaches, here, you get to keep these proclamations. Thank you. Thank you all.
No, no. We changed it up. Doesn't matter.
First two.
I also feel like that. Coach was here, but they come out till after we done
All right, let me get organized here. We'll move on. Item number 3 is reading of minutes from May the 9th, 2022 meeting. Those meeting minutes are in your packet. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to adopt minutes of 5/9/2022.
Second.
Motion is to approve reading of minutes from 5/9/2022. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. You also have in your packet reading of special call meeting minutes from June the 6th, 2022. Got a chance to review those. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt the reading of special called meeting minutes of 6/6/22.
Second.
Motion is on the table for approval of reading for special called meeting on minutes of special called meeting on 6/6/2022. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Next session on the agenda is public session. This is 30 minutes. If you're a resident of the town of Central and would like to speak, we can do this for up to 30 minutes, 5 minutes at a time. We'd welcome you to come on up. Going once, very well. Item number 6, receipt and disposition of petitions. Mr. Administrator.
We don't have any at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Reports from council committees, planning. Ms. Bowers, please.
I sent an email to everyone about the bushes on Broad Street. There was concern that there are babies in the bushes. I was trying to figure out how I was supposed to say that. Babies in the bushes. So we will wait until August to remove those because we think everybody will be out of the nest before then. So that will be in August. So I make a motion to remove bushes up to the power line on Broad Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is to approve removal of those bushes in August after baby birds have left the nest. Any discussion?
Can you discuss how we're gonna pay for that?
It was going to be $2,000, and then a letter for tax write-off. And then we were going to help with the removal of the debris.
So there's a substantial saving to the town.
It's over an $8,000 job,
Okay.
yes.
Great, thank you.
Any other discussion? Motion is to approve removal of bushes in August in front of the Bee's Knees on Broad Street. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And that's unanimous, thank you.
We have applicants available for the 3 positions that are needed on the planning. I think the only person that is here is David Vaughn. If you would just stand so everybody can see who you are.
Mr. Braun, thank you.
I did ask all of these individuals to come to planning last month, so I didn't ask them to come tonight. So I would like to make a motion that Lauren Queen, David Vaughn, and Edith Williams fill the 3 vacancies for the Planning Commission.
I'll second.
Motion is to approve 3 new members of the Planning Commission, Lauren Queen, David Vaughn, and Edith Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you.
Planning will not be meeting this month. We will have a meeting tomorrow night that is just information. There will be no votes. And that is hopefully so these 3 individuals can get their zoning books, their LDRs, and be brought up to speed on the projects we have on the table. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Bowers. Street and Public Safety, Mr. Moss, please.
Chief Steve Thompson went out the grant and he was awarded $146,983 and for a new vehicle and a fully equipped and equipment. And I tip my hat off for him for going after that and putting such hard labor behind that endeavor. Thank you so much. That's all, Mayor.
That's great.
Yeah, that's very good. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Finance and Marketing, Ms. Chapman, please.
Yes, on this month's, financial report, the sewer, fund is good, the sanitation fund is good. The water fund is better. We're only $52,430 in the red. The general fund is a little bit concerning to me because, we are $343,846 in the red. And, as I always do, I would like to, ask Mr. Mishu if he has, any information that might be pertinent for us to know about what's going on with these funds.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. The water fund actually looks pretty good compared to over the last 2 or 3 years. So we think the water meters in there and some of the leaks that we found have hopefully leveled that off a little bit. Like I say, I think time will tell, but just being 52,000 in the hole at this point in the budget year, which is 11 months, is really good compared to the last couple of years. On the general fund side, like I told you a couple of months ago when we discussed the general fund, it's going to be red and big because we just didn't physically move the business license money that we normally move over into that account. We didn't move it in there. By the time we figured out that's what was wrong, we only have a couple of months left in this budget year, so we'll start out at zero next month. So we're good. We're still good. Thank you. Any questions from council?
Questions of council? Ms. Chapman, anything further?
No, thank you, Mr. Mizzou, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. Recreation, Mr. Deal, please.
Yes, the Central Tigers football and cheerleading are maxed out on the number of people who can participate. And just to give you an idea, we have 45 cheerleaders signed up for this year. So a lot of people, maybe more cheerleaders than we have people participating. But anyway, that's great. Central and Clemson Parks and Rec Departments combined will be hosting the 8 under, 10 under, and 12 under Dixie Youth Baseball District Tournaments. That's June 16th through the 21st at Nettles Park, the baseball complex there. This is a great event that we do that brings a lot of people and finances into our community. Also, the playground equipment is scheduled to begin tomorrow. So we're looking forward to getting that started and completed. That's all I have at this time.
And that's the one behind the ball fields there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dill. Enterprise, Mr. Holliday, please.
I don't see anything listed. Have I got anything in here?
You need to make a motion for the $200,000 for ARPA and $150,000 out of reserves for the commercial sanitation truck.
Did I have it in?
Do what?
Is it in here?
No, we discussed it at the
Okay,
public session for the budget.
All right, help me word that then, since it's not in here.
Make a motion to use $200,000 of ARPA and $150,000 of reserves as discussed in the public session for the budget meeting.
And 150,000 in the budget.
150 from reserves and
Reserves.
200 from ARPA.
Okay. Make a motion, that we use 200,000 from ARPA fund and 150,000 for reserve for what purpose again?
Commercial sanitation truck.
Commercial sanitation truck. All right, let me write it down so I can see what I'm making a motion on. All right, 200,000 from ARPA and 150,000 from reserve for this commercial sanitation truck. That's motion.
Second.
Motion on the table is to authorize $200,000, not to exceed $200,000 in ARPA money, and not to exceed $150,000 in reserve, for a total of $350,000 for the purchase of a sanitation truck. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. None opposed. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Holliday?
I think that's it.
Thank you, sir. Tourism and Economic Development, Mr. Hayes, please.
All right, so the first item is associated with the Railroad Museum. It has a request for $55,000 to do some renovations. It's basically something we've been discussing over the last several months. It's in desperate need of repair. So that is the amount that has been estimated that it would take to bring that building back to code. Any questions? All right. And the second item is a request for $20,000 to start the engineering for access to the depot, the old train depot. So most of you probably don't know, we had a private donor who went through donating money to renovate the old train depot. It is ready for occupancy, given that we provide the engineering to make it ADA certified to allow handicap parking. So right now it's unutilized because we have no parking and no access, ADA access. So that's what the $21,000 will start. It'll allow us to start engineering a pathway for access for the public and the community. Any questions?
So is that the last thing before we get the letter of occupancy, is that right?
Go ahead, Philip.
We need to get it engineered. At the work session, we had the 5 different options. Y'all picked option 3. The 21,000 is going to cover completely engineering the entire project, plus including permits, and then we'll know what we have to do. He'll give us an estimate on the cost of getting a handicap access. So, but we have to have it engineered before we can do anything else.
Thank you.
All right, I'd go ahead and make a motion that we utilize $55,000 from the hospitality fund to repair the Railroad Museum.
I'll second that. Motion on the table is to request $55,000 from Hospitality Fund to repair the Railroad Museum. Any discussion? All those in favor? Raise your right hand, please. Thank you.
All right, I'd also like to make a motion that we request $21,000 from the hospitality fund for engineering of the depot landscape and parking.
I will second that as well. Motion on the table is to request $21,000 from the Hospitality Fund for engineering for the design, depot landscape, and parking, if I can spit it out. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. And thank you. Anything further, Mr. Hayes?
If you allow me just some latitude.
Please, sir.
So one thing about the hospitality fund, does everybody know where the primary contributors of the hospitality fund comes from? It comes from small businesses in town. So, and just being transparent, as a small business owner, when you see those numbers, 55 grand for the Railroad Museum, that really doesn't generate revenue, but it's a significant piece of our history. I think it's prudent that we take care of that facility. However, in the future, let's ensure that we consider small businesses in the area who contribute to the hospitality fund. In the coming meetings, we'll have an opportunity to talk about the state of the union of small businesses in Central and seeing what we can do to partner with them and help them thrive and grow. That's all I have.
Well said, sir. New business. Old business. Introduction and consideration of new ordinances, policies, proclamation, and resolutions. We have in your packet ordinance 0711-2022 floodplain management. I believe, it's my understanding, Mr. Michoud, that is for insurance purposes. They require us to carry that ordinance over. Is that correct? Thank you. I make a motion that we approve on first reading ordinance 0711-2022 floodplain management.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve ordinance number 0711-2022 floodplain management. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a resolution 0613-2022 loan assistance. It's my understanding this is an insurance need for, no, it's not insurance, it's for the water line project. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution 613-2022 loan assistance.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve resolution 0613-2022 loan assistance. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. And thank you. Finally, we have the CAT bus contract renewal. for review. Mr. Michu, is this in the order, in an ordinance, or is this just a contract? Can you,
That's just approval of a
Eliminate.
contract, that's just one reading, it's not an ordinance or a resolution. You're just authorizing as a body, elected body, to approve the contract.
and just to be clear, this is for, this is part of the contract that we do with the CAT bus system, make sure it operates in our town.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or discussion on the contract? Thank you. Item number 11 is consideration of ordinances and policies already in possession of council. We have a second reading of ordinance 06132022BU. That is a base rate increase.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Were we supposed to vote on the cat bus?
Excuse me?
Were we supposed to vote on the cat bus contract?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, y'all didn't vote?
No, we didn't vote.
Okay. I was looking down, I apologize. He's already requested the first and second,
We didn't vote.
but you didn't vote, so all you gotta do is.
I don't think we, no, we didn't make a motion.
Oh, you did? Okay.
No. Would anyone care to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the CAT bus contract renewal.
Second.
We have a motion and, we have a motion on the table is to approve the CAT bus contract.
That's for the next thing,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, okay, very good. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Now we'll get to the second reading of ordinance 06132022. This is second reading of a base rate increase for sewer, water, irrigation. No, just sewer and water. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 06-13-2022 BU.
Do you have the list of funds that this applies to? Because I have to have the 18 broken out, and Susan usually has that list.
I don't see that, I'm sorry. That's what happens when our town clerk goes out.
Oh, what was the question?
I cannot vote on 18, so she usually has a list of funds that he can read off, so we can break them apart. But I can just recuse myself from the whole thing.
That's supposed to be separated out. Sanitation is supposed to be separated out.
But he doesn't have the list of funds, so I'll just recuse myself from the whole thing, and I can change my recusal statement.
I didn't hear what you were gonna do.
I'll change my recusal statement since we don't have a list of the funds, since Susan's
And
not
just
here.
recuse from the entire budget? That'll
Right,
work.
so that we can move forward, yeah.
That will work.
So we have a motion on the table. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving on second reading ordinance 06132022 BU, raise your right hand, please. 6-0, thank you. Next is second reading of ordinance 06132022 RB.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt on second reading ordinance 06-13-2022 RB.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading ordinance 06132022 RB. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Next item is second reading of policy number 06132022 base rates.
I move that we adopt on second reading policy 06-13-2022 base rates.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading policy 06132022 base rates. Any discussion?
Can you go over what that involves again?
Yeah, so I misspoke earlier, thank you. Misspoke earlier on the previous ordinance. This is the base rate increase for water and sewer.
How much is it just for the general
It's,
public?
should be in your packet. You
Yeah.
have it right there on in your right hand, sir.
Yeah, I just wondered if we need to vocalize that for the general public or not, or we already covered that.
I did it in the public session, but I can
Okay.
repeat it if you want me to.
Do we
Before you
need to?
vote?
If not, we can go home.
If you would, you can go ahead, please. Mr. Meacham.
We're requesting a 10-cent adjustment to water rates to cover increased costs. In the sewer department, we're requesting a 44-cent increase as a pass-down expense due to increase in rates from Pickens County for sewer treatment. And we're requesting a 10-cent increase to cover town expenses. So basically, it's a 10-cent increase in water per thousand, and then a 54-cent increase total for sewer.
That's satisfied.
Mr. Michu, just to be clear, we are simply passing that on, is that correct?
The 44-cent portion of the sewer is a pass-down, that's correct.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt policy 613, 2022 base rates on second reading.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading policy 06132022 base rates. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Next item is second reading of policy 06132022 IFS. This is impact and tap fees. We are increasing across the board. We are proposing increasing across the board impact and tap fees for developers. So anyone that comes in and develops, they would have to pay new rates for water, sewer, police, fire, and sanitation and recreation. Previously, we only charge for water and sewer, and we are looking to add impact fees for police, fire, sanitation, and impact and recreation impact, in addition to raising the rates on water and sewer. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt on second reading policy 06-13-2022 IFS.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading policy 06132022 IFS. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. And thank you. Next item is second reading of ordinance 09092022 plan members. This is an ordinance, Ms. Bowers, do you want to explain that? Thank you.
We have had lowered our planning commission to 5, and I am asking that we increase it to 7 again. So this would approve planning being a 7-member council
Very good.
commission.
Very good. I'll make a motion that we approve on second reading ordinance 09092022 plan members.
Second.
Motion on the table is to approve on second reading ordinance 09092022 plan members. Any discussion?
Yes, and that number, it was lowered because we couldn't keep the number attended the vote, is that right? To
We didn't
a
have enough
majority?
people. Mhm.
So, okay, thank you.
Any further discussion or questions?
This is just editorial, but there's a discrepancy between our agenda and the ordinance. Our ordinance says 0509, and the agenda says 0909.
Very good. I'm going to make an amended motion.
So,
The amended motion is that we approve on second reading ordinance 05092022 plan members.
Second.
Motion on the table, the amended motion on the table is to approve ordinance 05092022 plan members. Any discussion, any further discussion or questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. And thank you. Next, we have reports. Mr. Michu, anything to share with us, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Update on the Church Street water line. We did open the bids on Tuesday. We had 6 bids. I think the total bid ended up being 1.8 million. So that's about 270,000 actually short. So that's better than what we had before, much better. So I think we're going to be able to do the entire project. Engineers and myself are going to get with the grants people and see if we can fill that gap. We have committed 75,000, so I think we've done our part. It's just going to be a matter of seeing if the other 2 grants would be willing to cover the shortfall there. The only thing that's out there that's going to be out there until the project starts is how much are the materials going to cost. As we discussed before, they're not holding prices. Once they drop ship it and it lands into Town of Central, whatever the invoice is, we're going to pay. So the engineers and myself seem to think that we probably need to hold back that 75,000 that we have committed to cover maybe the added expense of materials and get the 2 grants to split the 270. So that's going to be our proposal with them. So we'll see how that goes. Travel for the annual conference. We've got 2 council members that are going to the conference in Charleston. Just want to let you know that our mileage rate, you're going to lose money. It's going to cost you to get there because of the price of gas. So I'm going to make you an offer if you'd like to get a gas card to take with you, at least to cover the cost of your gas to get there. Let me know prior to departure, and I'll get you a gas card. All right? Currently, the mileage is 26 cents per mile. I figured up how much that is, and it's about $15 short one way. So $30 total. All right? Any questions from, the other thing, I want to go ahead and tell you this before I forget. The 2 that are going, get valet parking, okay? I think you've been there before, haven't you? So you know. Don't attempt to park your car in downtown Charleston. I'm from there, and I'm not going to attempt it. So I highly encourage you to just get the valet and let them park your car. All right. Any questions from council?
Any problems with the Church Street water line? Any problems with actually getting the materials?
We're
I know it's
using
gonna cost more,
we're
I just
using
didn't-
ductile iron pipe, and that's about 4 to 6 months out. So we'll get it. It'll take a little while for it to get here. So we're probably looking at end of September, October for that ductile to get here. So you're probably looking November, start construction, and probably don't want that to push into winter. So we may end up pushing it out to March. I don't know. We'll have to see how long it takes to get the materials. We have been told by the contractor that once the materials get here, he's ready to go.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of getting the materials here.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I see no need for executive session this evening. Anything further from council? No objection. We're adjourned.